have a feeling that this is like bent in a weird direction. Let me just... Okay, so the camera in this video is a little bit wonky. I'm sorry if that bothers you, but we are just gonna have to roll with it because I don't know how to fix my tripod. So the other day I saw Gabriella Lindley, and I will link her channel below, but I'm sure you know who she is. She's like this YouTuber, and I saw her do a baby name tag, and she had done like a one before, and she's done so many baby name videos, but she made like her own rendition of the baby name tag, and I wanted to do this tag, and I'm aware it'll be a bit weird that I'm doing this tag, but let me like explain and then you can hear me out. Basically, I don't have any children, I'm not pregnant, I don't plan to be. It's such a weird disclaimer to say, but I've always been really intrigued by people's names. So when I saw Gabriella do this tag, I was immediately like interested, and I just wanted to do it. And when she was answering her questions, I was thinking like, well, what would my answer be to that? So I thought, well, I'll make a video on it. So this is my baby name tag. I know it's weird, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So the first question of the tag is, what is your favourite name from the Friends cast? So my favourite name from the Friends cast, I would like Chandler for either a boy or a girl. Such a cool and unconventional name. Like, you don't know many Chandlers or hear many Chandlers. I also like the name Joey. I know that Joey's real name's Joseph, and I don't mind Joseph, but if I had a child and I wanted him to be called Joey, I'd call him Joseph. The official name would be like Joseph, but then his like name that we call him would be Joey. Question 2 is, if you had triplets and had to use 3 winter themed names, what would they be, any gender? So my 3 names that I chose if I had triplets and for some reason had to name them after winter names, I chose Alaska because I read the book Looking for Alaska by John Green about, it must have been like 5 years ago. It was like when everybody on the internet was reading The Fault in Our Stars, and it was like this cool hipster thing, and I was like, well, I want to go one step further, and I started reading Paper Towns and Looking for Alaska and Abundance of Catherines and like all of these different books. But Looking for Alaska, I loved it so much, and definitely that's why Alaska is one of my winter themed names. Noel, because I remember from my French lessons that Noel is Christmas in French. Not only that, but I like the song Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus. I think Noel is a really cool name. And Blaze. This is weird. I would definitely never call my child Blaze. Like, Blaze reminds me of a snowstorm. I feel like if I got a pet, I might call that pet Blaze, but I would never call a child Blaze. It was really the only name that I could think of, and I would use Blaze for a boy rather than a girl. It would be really cool for a girl, but for me personally, and just because most of these names on this list are for girls, we're going to say that Blaze is a boy's name. Question 3 is, if you had triplets and had to use 3 summer themed names, what would they be? Any gender. So it's like the last question, but for summer. And I chose Daisy, River and Sky. I thought really hard about all of these names, and I have reasons for each one. But Sky for a boy because I like Mamma Mia, and the love interest in Mamma Mia is called Sky. I thought that was really sweet. River because I don't watch Doctor Who, but when I heard of River, I immediately thought of River Song, who's a character, and I think River Song is such a beautiful name. And Daisy, I think Daisy is beautiful. It's very spring-like. It's always been one of my favourite kind of floral names. So Daisy. Question 4 is, what is your favourite typically English baby name? Like, I wasn't sure what this meant, but then when I watched Gabriella's video, I kind of got the gist. It's kind of like a typical royal British name is the only way I can think of describing it. So for a girl, I chose the name Elizabeth, but for short I would call her Eliza. And then for a boy, I picked George. It's also a family name, and I think it's very like nice. Like, it's very, I don't want to say old-fashioned, but it's different, and you don't hear many Georges nowadays. Like, not many kids are growing up to be called George. Like, I think it's a nice name, and yeah. So question 5 is, what are non-negotiable names to your partner, aka names you are set on no matter what they think? I really struggled answering this question, and I don't actually have a proper answer because in my mind I have names that I can see myself at the minute naming my child, but I never see myself as a person who's like not going to discuss what I would call my baby or child with my partner. Like if I'm going to have a child, I don't want the full responsibility of naming that child. Like I would want my partner to think, oh, I like that name, or I don't like that name. Like I would want their input because it's their child as well. So I can't answer that question because it's not really what I would want. Question 6 is, if you had to use a name from your favourite movie, what would it be? I chose Luke and Leia because I had a joke growing up where if I was to marry somebody whose last name was Walker, then I would call my child Luke Sky Walker and Leia Sky Walker, and that's really lame, I know. However, Star Wars is my favourite movie, so when I think of my favourite movie and think of names for my favourite movie, I just immediately thought Luke and Leia. I think they're really pretty names, and I would definitely consider naming a child Luke or Leia. Question 7 is, if you had to use a name from your phone contacts, which would it be? Now I actually have not answered this question on my laptop, so let me just grab my phone. Okay guys, I've got my phone and I'm going to open my contacts and I'm going to find a name that I like. Okay guys, so in my phone contacts I actually found the name Georgia. I love the name Georgia for a girl. I think it's so beautiful and it's so elegant and it's like George but Georgia, and I picked that name. But again, I would never ever call my child Georgia because my cousin's called Georgia and that's the name in my contacts. Question 8 is, what double-barreled name would you consider for a boy and a girl? So for this question I could not think of a boy's name, surprise surprise, but I did think of 2 girls' names, and these girls' names honestly have been the kind of names that I've been set on for a long time. And I told my friends these names and they did not like them, but I guess that doesn't matter that much because I love these names. I always had this idea, if I ever had twin girls, this is the names I'd call them. So for the first twin girl, it would be Delilah Lee. Delilah is a biblical name and it reminds me of the song Hey There Delilah. I really like that. I always wish that there was a song called like Rachel, or like about the name Rachel. I don't know, I think it would be really sick having a song with your name in it. I don't know why, but yeah. And then the second name would be Darcy Ann. I'm not that fussed on Darcy anymore, but I think Delilah and Darcy go really well together. I really like Darcy Ann and Delilah Lee. Basically the second part of those double-barreled names, Lee and Ann, is the name of my mum. So if I have had twin girls, without a doubt the middle names of those 2 girls would be Lee and Anne because I like them named separately and put together, and there's meaning behind it and I really like that. Question 9 is, what Disney names would you choose for a boy and a girl? I picked Aurora for a girl because Sleeping Beauty was like my favourite Disney film. I also saw that her name was originally meant to be Briar Rose, or maybe in the Grimm's fairy tales it was Briar Rose. Again, a really pretty name, but I really like the name Aurora. And for a boy I picked Maui. This was strange because I couldn't actually find a boy's name I liked from Disney. I was like, do I cheat a bit and pick some Star Wars or Marvel thing? But no, I chose Maui, who is basically Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's character in Moana. I love The Rock so much. I don't know if that had anything to do with me picking that name. Maui, it's a cool name. I wouldn't call my child Maui, but it's a cool name and I like it, and I like The Rock, so. Question 10 is, what would you name brunette, blonde and redhead children? So I guess this question is like if you didn't pick any names and then you had 3 kids all with different hair colours and you didn't have a name for them and you looked at them, the first name that would come to mind is. So that's kind of how I based that question. For a blonde child I went with the name Anna. For a blonde girl I should say. I don't know why that's the first name that comes with my mind. I don't really like the name Anna that much. I mean, I like the name, but I wouldn't call my child Anna. Anna, just because obviously there's names that you know people who have these names who maybe like, they kind of ruin the name for you, do you know what I'm saying? For a brunette I got the name Daniel. Don't know why. I don't know if it's because of Dan is not on fire. I don't know, but I went for Daniel. And for redhead child, I went for the name Scarlet. I like the name Scarlet. Scarlet is like red. Like, isn't it a dark reddish colour, Scarlet? So maybe that's why it was the first name that came to my mind. But yeah, that's what I got for that. Question 11 is favourite city / country themed name for a boy and a girl. I done a lot of research. I was searching for baby names based on, I searched for country baby names and they came up with like cool southern names to call your child, call your country boy child. And then there was names like Jolene, and I'm like, I'm good. No shade if you're called Jolene. So for this I chose the name Valencia, which is a place in Spain. It sounds so beautiful. I've had a lot of people talk about the place Valencia. I think it's a nice name. Val for short, Valerie. I don't know, it's nice, I like it. Question 12 is, if you were to pick a Harry Potter themed baby name, what would it be? Okay, I do not like Harry Potter. I've seen a couple of the movies and I've read the first 2 books. So it's not like I'm just saying I don't like Harry Potter because I've never tried to watch it or read it or anything. I have, I honestly truly have, and I cannot get into it. I don't like it. But I googled some Harry Potter names and I saw that there was a character called Luna Lovegood. I adore the name Luna. I think it's a beautiful name. I've loved it since Rogue One came out and I found out about Diego Luna. That is so random but so true. Like, I love the name Luna. Question 13 is, if you had to use one of your friends' names, what would it be? I was like thinking of all my friends. I was like, I would never do this. Like, and my friends all kind of have basic traditional names. So I went with Lily and Lillian. If I ever had children, I wouldn't call my child Lily or Lillian. She's watching this right now and I wouldn't do that, and neither would you. But I think it's a pretty name, and I used to, you know, when I was like, I say when I was small, but like 5 years ago I used to sit on my laptop and write fan fiction. Like, I must have wrote about 5 different fan fictions and the main characters were all called Lillian. Beautiful name, love it. Question 14 is, what is your favourite space themed name? This is such a cool question. I was like thinking about it and I was like, well, I've already said Luna and I've already said Aurora, so I have to think of a different name. I thought of, and I don't even know if this is a real name, it just came like poof on the top of my head, Galaxia. I don't know if I like it, but I thought of it and I thought it sounded cool. If I was called Galaxia, I would be intrigued as to why my parents chose that name. But I think that's a good thing, and you don't know anyone called Galaxia. Anyways, it's like the name Galaxy mixed with Alexia. Alexia, again, really pretty name. Galaxia, I don't know, okay? And the final question, I believe, is choose a boy and girl's name based on Greek mythology. For a girl, I chose the name Athena, who is, I believe, goddess of love. Not sure. I think she is though. Athena, pretty name. I like it. It's like Athens, which is in Greece. I want to go there. It looks nice. Yeah. And for a boy, I chose Ares, who is the god of war. I have not looked into Greek mythology in a long time, but I believe he's the god of war. And I like that name. And I'm very much into like star constellations and astrology. It's like Aries, especially if the kid was born in March, because I believe March is... No, hang on a minute, it's not Aries. Pisces is March. Let me check. Okay, I googled it and it said that Aries is April 15th to May 14th, approximately. But that's not true because I was born April 27th and I'm a Taurus. Any Aries watching this video, please let me know what month Aries are. But anyways, if my child was born same month as Aries, I might call him Aries. It's a cool name and it fits with the question, so... Okay, I should thank you all for watching my video now. If you want to do this tag, feel free to do it. But yeah, Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and goodbye.